Hello and welcome to Dev Live Interviews. We carry on now with our panel discussion about equity, diversity, and women in the IT industry. And we have two guests here right beside me. Christina Korp, the founder at Space for a Better World, and Ioana Chiorian, engineering manager at Code Sandbox. So, I would first like to say some words about you, Christina. Christina Korp is known as the astronaut wrangler. She is an astronaut manager, space advisor, founder of Space for a Better World, and the president of Purpose Entertainment. For 10 years, she managed Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin and launched his foundation, Share Space, and the Aldrin Family Foundation. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Ioana is a software engineer flavored in management, DevRel, that has more than 10 years testing experience with a specialization in mobile apps. Thank
There's
you so
some
much.
the white hair also with there for many years.
Okay, so again, thank you so much for coming. And we should start. The first question, can you share some personal experience or insights into the challenges faced by you as a woman in IT industry?
Well, so I'm in the space industry, which includes IT. So I personally, I have to say, I got in kind of easily, but I think it's because, first of all, in many ways, I think more like a guy. I looked at a job posting and I didn't know how to do everything in that job posting, but I thought I could do that. And so I applied and then I got the job. And so I think one of the big challenges a lot of times is not just that companies aren't hiring enough women, but also a lot of women are not putting themselves in the position to be hired because they're worried they don't know enough. They need to fill all the criteria. And the fact of the matter is it's simply not true. A lot of companies are willing to train you in the ways. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be an IT programmer, you need to have some skills to actually understand. I couldn't just go in and become an IT programmer. But that being said, you know, women have to doubt themselves less.
Yes.
That's my take.
I think it's a really research data already out that women will literally check each line in a job description, and only if they check almost all, they will apply. While a man will apply if they see 2, 3 familiar. Oh, I can do this. The rest I could learn, and they will apply faster than the women. I have a similar experience, but I think it's also, I wouldn't call it necessarily survivor bias because we passed by it. But I grew up in an engineering household. My parents are both engineers. My mom is an engineer, so I also never played really only with the dolls. I was building stuff, so I had this side, a bit manly side that you're attacking from the youth. Like it wasn't that I want to be a woman tech role or something. It was just a tech role, and I applied for it. I was good in mathematics, and I went for it. I never had any bad encounters right now, but I do feel sometimes, and I was joking earlier, that representation, like if you go, I traveled to come here to Cluj and I checked who's in the business lounge and who's on the business seats, and it was majority was men. I think I saw 1 or 2 women. So those are the things that sometimes I still notice that we can do better to not feel the only woman in the room when you talk about technology or space and aviation.
Yeah.
And what are the benefits or advantages of having diverse and inclusive teams in the tech sector, and how does it impact innovation and problem solving, in your opinion?
I think having a woman's perspective, especially in technical areas, is really valuable because there are lots of examples where, so I'll give something that's not even necessarily a programmer, but for instance, in Australia, they noticed that women did a better job of noticing. So they were truck drivers for like oil companies, that sort of thing. And they decided they wanted to hire more women because the women did a better job of understanding if something was wrong with the truck. They would listen to it. They would pay attention to the details of the sound. And then they would go and precisely describe it to the mechanic, say, I hear this noise, it keeps doing it every 5 seconds. Whereas a guy would maybe go, oh, I keep hearing this noise, but they're not giving quite the same information. There's just something about the women's perspective sometimes that I think is a very valuable way to bring those kind of skills that might seem really subtle, but are actually really valuable in the long run. And that's just one tiny example. But I think that that's something that only adds value and expands, ways that a company can be more efficient or make use of this different perspective that a woman has in a job.
And let's face it, we still are, I think, 51% of the population. So we need products for women. We need women to participate in building products just to bring a new perspective. Like, oh, I think we could do also this, or I was missing this while driving, or the noises, I have to record some the other. We just expand better the product and also the market in terms of recruiting, in terms of hiring. And we are keep fighting to get more people in this domain because we accelerate innovation to them. So if we are not able to hire women more, we will not have who will hire more after.
Well, and I just want to add, as you say, we're more than half the population. So in order for it to actually, impact more people, having that perspective of half the population is very valuable to making things better in every realm.
Exactly. And I would like to add from the beginning that adding the perspective, it doesn't mean we disqualify the others, we just improve. Like in terms of accessibility, whenever we build something for people with disability, every people in the planet will benefit of it. Look at ramps, we did it for people with disabilities, but mother with child also use them to go on there. So wherever we improve the processes for a specific category, or we open it, we do inclusive things, everyone benefits of those improvements.
And in unexpected ways too, many times.
Things that we did not plan for it.
It wasn't created for that, but it benefits as well.
Adds more value, even more.
Yes. Let's discuss about the role of mentorship and sponsorship programs in supporting women's career growth in IT. In this area of IT.
I think it's important again, going back to how women view themselves, I think in this role, a lot of times it's hard for them to believe they could get in a leadership role without seeing a woman already there. So it's very valuable for a female leader, I think, to mentor and to encourage young women. That being said, all of my mentors were men. And so
don't have so many people, so many women, less women are recommended. So we need to go where the women are, or where other category of people that are not represented are, to be sure that they know about it and will apply. Because if the message for a recruiting or a program doesn't get to women and we get only men apply, that's not what we want. We need to literally go where they are. So I think this is one thing that such programs can cover.
And having an understanding boss, I will say this. So again, my mentors were men. I have 2 children. I actually didn't really get maternity leave, but the thing that was helpful to me was my boss actually let me bring my daughter to work.
Oh, yeah.
And he actually let me work from home sometimes, understanding that I had a baby to take care of.
Yeah.
And he still really needed my expertise, but he was understanding that I had a child that I had to take care of
Yeah.
too. So there's just other ways. In Los Angeles, in some of the companies that I'd seen, they were letting
Yes.
women bring their babies
Yeah.
along when they're really young.
Yeah.
And that may seem kind of like, oh, why would you want to do that? But for some women, they don't have the option to
Yeah.
have someone take care of their baby. So
We do something like this similar to our events. If where the space has an extra room, we do partners and kids, because especially for young kids, partners, males, are not that confident to stay at home with them without, having the mother around. So if we have a room 10 steps away where the man can be with the kids, and if the kid needs to be fed or needs something that the mother only can do, it's 5 minutes for her to go and take care of that instantly. Both the partner is very okay to stay with the kids, and also the lady, the woman, can enjoy a talk. And we saw how people came and said, oh, it's really easy to have them. We go back together home, we came together. So I miss just an hour, which is the meetup or the tech talk, and I know they're next to me in case they need me. I'm there. And probably it's also like in jobs, you can focus because things are close to you, and if something happens, you'll be there. So the changes are not that much. It's not that we don't it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science necessarily. She builds the rocket science. The solutions that we can implement for diversity are not.
And what about the strategies that can come, or educational institutes or tech companies can implement to encourage more young women to pursue IT related fields? What do you think?
well, one thing that I see is that, first of all, we all know that girls do really well in math and science when they're younger. And then there comes a point in the later part of their education that either they begin to not believe that they can go down this path, or they're being guided to go do something else that they think society expects a girl to do. And so it has to start really like before they go to college, more so that they have to be shown that these are possible pathways for them. And then even when they get to college, because I've met some female engineers who say, even in college, they're saying, why don't you become a nurse? Why don't you become this or that?
Or maybe a teacher, not an
A
engineer.
teacher, yeah.
Take care
Why?
of the kid.
So I mean, I think that has to be a conscious thing that happens within academia. But then again, I tell companies too, you need to show that you mean it when you have jobs for women, because in aerospace, they say we want the women, we can't find them, and I'm like, they're there. You need to do a better job of reaching out to them and getting them to see that those opportunities, you really mean them, and the opportunity is really there.
Yeah, and I think exactly this, when you, especially in the second part, what you mentioned, that we don't find, where did you look for them? Go to Google. If you expect just the man in your company to recommend,
You
they will
expect them to
recommend their
come
friend.
to you.
Yes, exactly. Go to them. Also, if you have a program to support mother, be sure that it's a program that supports them, just something nice to add on a job description. And I totally agree with, we need to change this perspective in kids to tell them what they can be when they are grown up. And my joke is that it's still not even as a parent, when you go to a toy store, you see black, blue and pink. Dolls only with, and we saw Barbie. Barbie was an international huge. And she showed that it can be whatever they wanted, and they added jobs for them. But at the beginning, it was just cute. And after that, they could. We need to show the girls from the young age that they can be whatever they want without any discrimination towards the boys. And we don't need to protect ladies that they are sensitive. No, yes, men are also sensitive. Boys are also sensitive. They can also cry. It's totally fine. It's the perception. Perception. It's a bit hard to change. But if we always question it, it's like, did we make space for women at this job, in this company, at this study field, university? If not, where should we go? How we should talk better? We should explain it better to be sure that people enroll. I am not in a favor to create numbers like jobs for women. It must be fulfilled by women, because a bad hire is a bad hire no matter of their the differences. So we really need to hire the best people, but in order to do that, we need to reach a larger audience of applicants than the regular.
Mm-hmm. And how can the IT industry attract and retain more women in technology roles, especially in leadership positions?
Well, first of all, you brought up something earlier, which is something that I'm aware of in aerospace, which is most of the women that I know who are elevated to leadership roles, they were referred by a guy who knew them already. They didn't get it from applying blindly, which is too bad. And it's good that people have recognized the skills of someone and recommended for them for their job, but that can't be the only pathway.
Yes.
And I do have a couple of ladies friends who, when they would put their resumes, they would do their first name as an initial and last name so that it wasn't obvious that they were a woman, just to see. And sometimes they did get further in the process of interviewing or hiring because there wasn't this perception that it's a woman. And I hate to say it, but there are still some guys who just don't think women are as capable as guys do. So I do think that's changing. I think the younger generation is changing, and it's a lot more. They see women and girls a lot more equally, but we're not there yet. Clearly,
I think I agree with what you mentioned, and I agree that we need, maybe this is a major step to push more confidence in women to apply, not to wait. We also kind of tend to do the work and say, like, they will see and they will promote me because they will see the results. I'm sorry to say, nobody says it. If you don't try to push a bit, or you make a case for you, or you have an ally, be it a man or a woman, to really support you there, nobody's gonna come and bring it at home. So we need to build confidence in ladies that they can do exactly the same things. Probably break some stereotypes that men are strong and women are not. Because in times of crisis, we see in all decisions, and we see leaders of the world right now, women take probably the best decision, or having literally leading countries that do really well. So we just need to show these examples more, so we build the next generation more empowered. I feel that if we take some of the blockages that we created, women are already empowered. They know what to do. We just need to literally clean the road so they don't have to do an overstep all the time. One thing that I always mention is that I really don't want women to do all the work anymore. I don't want to, like, oh, I'll just work double for 2 months so they can see my results. No, why should I work double? We work the same, I will expect the same benefits. So I really want people to unlock this mentality that you need to prove yourself. We don't do that for everyone. We should not expect for women to prove themselves. Let's change the mentality. Everyone deserves from the beginning. Let them prove wrong that we are wrong, that they have to do. So yeah, mentality, it's a bit of shift. But like Christina said, I think the next generation are doing way better than we did, and we are on a positive, optimistic world.
I just want to add, though, too, one thing that I do think that some women, too, have to change their thinking, that I'm the only one who can have this job, and I don't want anybody else to get it. Because sometimes women feel really threatened too, thinking, oh my gosh, if I don't want to help this person, I need to just get here because I don't want to lose my spot, and not realize that there is room for everyone. You know, because I run into that sometimes, where people see the things that I do and they want to do what I do. And I love to mentor and bring people along. But then sometimes they get a little bit like, I don't want to tell this person about that because I'm worried they're going to get it instead of me. Instead of seeing that that we could all be a part of it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Exactly. That's why women in tech, men in tech, we are not stealing each other's jobs. There's plenty of jobs, plenty of opportunities. It's not a competition. Yes, exactly.
It doesn't have to be a competition.
Yes, we can grow together. We can improve together.
The guys don't see it that way.
No,
they all just find their way.
Yeah, they're literally helping each other easier. Like, come with me, I'll recommend you. It's fine.
Yeah,
we should do that too.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yes.
Okay, and the last question, looking to the future, what changes or initiatives do you believe will have the most significant impact on increasing equity and diversity in the IT industry?
Again, I think it's showing, because it's one thing to say, oh, we've got jobs for you. Well, you need to show. And again, unfortunately, women a lot of times have to see somebody that looks like them, or somebody that they think, okay, I saw that person get there. So
you see this a lot in sports, right? Whenever a lady wins any sport, we have this in Romania in tennis. Simona Halep won. Kids went to play tennis because they saw someone from their country, not even a lady. Someone from the country was doing good in tennis. Everybody rallies towards them, the same in sports.
Yes. And same in America. I mean, honestly, the top tennis player in America right now, is a young Black lady
Yeah,
because of Coco,
So
because
Serena.
of seeing
Oh my God.
Serena
I
and
got
Venus.
goosebumps.
So again, it's also like that is what it definitely accelerates women
Yes.
is seeing someone that they think, oh wow, that person looks like me. Maybe I could do it then too.
Yes.
So we have to show them,
Yes.
not just tell them. Show them.
Yes. And also keep this discussion. I think the easier the people do, if we keep discussing about equal rights, equal opportunities, we will just break the stereotypes and biases we are growing, which is, I don't complain about them. We all have biases and we all grow in stereotypes. That's how it is. But we need to be conscious of it and educate ourselves. Oh, I didn't know we can do this. Okay, let me educate myself. And next time I'll help someone in this case. I'm not blocking them. I can leverage. Or we have privileges. Yes, we know, we talk about it. I didn't do anything to get the privilege, but now that I have it, I should use it to empower others that don't have this privilege. And even in Romania, we see others in worse positions than us. Even if we think that, oh, Romania is beyond everything. We have the fastest internet. How we leverage that? Let's leverage the privileges that we have today towards better for everyone. And again, diversity and equity really is to create equal opportunities for everybody, not only women. Just need to bring everyone at the table at discussion.
So thank you so much for this discussion. It was really interesting. And thank you all for watching.